All right, Poets, whenever you want to kick it off.
Let's fight.
Oh, okay. I don't get the intro for anything.
No.
No, I like editing that in
Well-
afterwards versus.
No, that's fine. That's cool. You want to be a second-rate podcast? It's fine.
Loco.
Welcome to the Windy City Benders podcast, presented by Beer League Talk, with your hosts, Noe, Poetsy, Jerem, and Tanner.
Fuck you, Poets.
All right, everybody, welcome into a beautiful Sunday morning edition of the Windy City Bender podcast, presented by Beer League Talk. It is beautiful 60-something degrees outside. It's about 9:30 in the morning. And I'm just excited because it seems like summer's finally here, y'all. And I'm sick of being cold all the time. So we are with episode 57, the Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Along with me is Jerem over in Orland Park. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. And Tanner downtown. How you doing, buddy?
What's up?
What's going on? No Noli this week. He's out in Texas attending to a family matter, so thinking about him right now. But this episode in itself should probably be a bit shorter. Not too much is going on other than playoffs. I think next week we might have a little bit more to talk about once the World start. Those begin, I believe, on the 10th. So,
Also,
yeah, just gonna kind of
be wrapping up too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, gonna jump right into it. We also have a really, really awesome interview coming up for you guys. Really, really cool guy with Chicago Blackhawks Warriors. Going to come on and talk a little bit about that organization and kind of his life. So, really excited to have Brian on. So, jumping into playoffs.
Let's get into it.
Playoffs?
Let's start with let's start with the series that's already over, because what a joke. I will say what I am excited for, though, increasingly so, is that the Storm Surge Stanley Cup final celebration. That's what I'm starting to get really fucking pumped up for, because that's going to be an absolute show and a half.
I mean, it's just the Stanley Cup celebration. Like, every team does it at the end of the year. Like, when you win the cup.
No, what do they just
it's
take?
It's going to be different, because I want them to do something different because of the Storm Surge. I thought they were going to do something now that they won a series on home ice. I thought they were going to do something, but they didn't, and I was upset.
What if they just take like the best of every surge that they did throughout the year, and just every player does one of it during the cup final?
It's just a compilation.
That would be hilarious.
All the surges.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, Carolina though, Jesus, just rolling.
Well, you know what? Give credit where credit is due, because they're hurt, they're banged up, but they are still just flying, and they are a confident hockey team right now. I think that is the main thing with them, is they're confident as hell.
Oh yeah.
Peter Mrazek goes down, and Curtis McElhinney has to take over halfway through game 2. Very easily, that bench could have just been like, "Oh Jesus, what are we going to do now?"
I thought they were going to be done.
TVR.
Yeah, they lost TVR and Mrazek in the same game. I thought that was it for them.
Mm-hmm. They lost TVR. They lost Svechnikov. They lost Martinook. They lost Riemsdyk. They had 4 big guys down at one time, and they still just kept on plugging away, plugging through. Didn't care. I will say there were guys like Teuvo Teravainen. They stepped up.
Yeah.
They stepped up in those times that they needed them. Teuvo was incredible. Sebastian Aho is an absolute mutant. He's a star. Guy's incredible.
Is it? Am I the only one that watching Teuvo do as well as he's doing these playoffs, and it hurts a little bit each time that?
Oh yeah, of course.
That we gave up that for a 1 year of bad Bickle contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, we don't make that trade, we probably don't end up getting Panarin.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, granted, we screwed the pooch on that one as well, but you know,
Stan
at least we
Bowman
had the
messed something
opportunity
up.
there. You know,
What?
Absolutely.
so
I got a stat for you.
I just couldn't. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah, suck it, Tanner.
I don't even know what stats are, man.
Islanders are the first team to be sweep one series and then be swept in the following series for the first time since 1993, and that was the Buffalo Sabres that did it.
That's such a Sabres thing to do.
Yeah. How? Oh my god.
That is a huge Sabres thing to do.
Does Carolina like continue the streak and like they get swept next round too?
That's another thing I saw too. Did you see like Carolina's playoff history?
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they went
Every time. Go ahead.
Every time they've been in the playoffs, they've gone to at least the conference finals.
Oh.
So they're 4 for 4 now going to the conference finals in their playoff history.
That's pretty impressive.
And 2 of them were Stanley Cups.
2002, they made it to the Stanley Cup final, lost to Detroit. 2006, they went to the final, won.
Yeah.
2009, they went to the conference final and lost to Pittsburgh. And then
This year.
then they're there now.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, it's that barn. It's their arena. Those people go fucking crazy. They might not have the greatest fans when they're not doing well, but once they start to do well and they're in the playoffs, that place goes absolutely insane.
Well, we hear like all the stories about their owner, like the crazy owner, you know, not wanting to pay for her cell phone and all that. And then for the first time, I actually saw what he looks like. He's a young dude. I was expecting like an older guy. That blew my mind.
No, he's almost like Duda's age.
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah. I mean, he's still ridiculous on some things that he's putting through, but
it's working.
Hey, look at where it got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I still can't believe that it was a sweep, though. The Islanders were playing so well. They were playing so well. And all the stupid idiots saying that the reason they lost the series was because they were playing at the Barclays Center and not Nassau Coliseum is hilarious.
Yeah.
I understand it's going to end up playing a factor in it, that you're not playing in the arena that's like the one that you play the best in. But also at the same time, that's not the reason why you guys lost. If that's the reason why you lost, you probably shouldn't be a playoff hockey team.
Yeah, it's probably like, not scoring goals.
Yeah, not scoring goals. I mean, half the goals that they scored in the series went off of Carolina players. They didn't even score half of their goals.
Doesn't matter how it goes in, just if it goes in or not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They scored 6 goals in 4 games.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so then literally 3 of them then went off of a Carolina player.
Outscored 13-6. Jesus.
I did feel bad for Robin Leonard in that 4th game, getting pulled after just being left out to dry. And then he has to sit out in the crowd with Carolina Hurricane fans, not even with his team on the bench, but like in the corner amongst all the Hurricane fans. Like, what? I'd be in the locker room so fast, I would not sit there. Get the hell out of here.
Just not feeling that at all.
No way. Get out of here with that.
But and then last thing before we want to move on to that series, how about Dougie Hamilton making sure he wins the game of tag?
Hilarious.
Did the head tap.
God, that was so funny.
That's hilarious. I'm not a big Dougie Hamilton guy, but I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Did you see
I thought the hurricane season was over.
That
has me dying all the time still.
That look that he got shot after he tapped the head was so funny too. Good stuff.
So Carolina awaits the winner of the Columbus-Boston series, which is now going to go to Game 6 in Columbus. Boston, Saturday night, pulled out a crazy 4-3 win in regulation, where they had a 2-0 lead over Columbus. And then Columbus came back and got one from Seth Jones.
Yep.
Wasn't the greatest of goals, to be quite honest with you, from Tuukka. I mean, it was just a bad angle shot on the goal line, squeaked in. Right after that, Boston comes down on a 4-on-1. I've never seen that in playoff hockey before in my life. A 4-on-1 cashes in. David Pastrnak makes it 3-1, and then Brian Zingle, with an absolute roof job, makes it 3-2. Columbus ends up tying it 3-3 about a minute later, and for sure we're going to overtime at this point. For sure, we got like 4 minutes left to go in the game. Back and forth, really exciting stuff. And then David Pastrnak comes down, makes it 4-3 Boston with like a minute and 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, like I was saying to you guys earlier, it's just insane while I was at work. I'm just like trying to keep an eye on the game, and it's 2-0 for the longest time. And then all of a sudden it's 2-1, and I was like, hell yeah. And then I do something, turn back, I'm like, now it's 3-1. I was like, what the fuck? And then go do something, turn around again, and it's 3-3. And I was like, what is happening? What is happening right now? This is bananas.
Sergei Bobrovsky made some of the most incredible saves I've ever seen in this hockey game. He was so good in this game.
Did you see this stat?
Which is weird to say.
About he has 6 playoff wins this year, and his career he has 5 playoff wins.
He has 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
making sure he gets paid.
It's weird to say that he was playing so well yesterday, because 2 of the 4 goals that he gave up were not great at all. The first one was just a swing and a miss. I forgot who shot it. I think it was Krejci. He whiffed on the shot and just rolled through his 5-hole, going like half a mile an hour, and he just missed it. And that third goal, albeit it was a 4-on-1, he didn't even move. He was off his angle. He didn't even move. It just beat him blocker side. So I was kind of confused on that. And the same thing with Tuukka also, now that I think about it. 2 of the 3 goals that he gave up were not great, and he played really well all the way through.
Yeah, he's been really, really good these last few games. Like Columbus has been all over him, and then Tuukka's just been like brick wall.
Yeah. Should be interesting to see what kind of effort Columbus brings out Game 6, back at home, back up against the wall. If history shows us anything, it's not going to end well for them. But I mean, this is definitely they've shown us that this is a different team than years past in Columbus. So
yeah,
I could definitely see them. I could definitely see them forcing this to a Game 7, coming out and just blazing. Yeah.
Do you think Boston might get a little ahead of themselves, looking at like, oh, we got Carolina next round if we win this? Or do you think that
they're too experienced of a team to think too far ahead like that, I feel. And I think they know that Columbus is like a legitimate hockey team now. You know, they're not here to fuck around. I mean, if this was the first round, maybe. Yeah. But now that Columbus has gotten to the second round, they even had Boston back up against the wall a little bit. They know that they're not there to just for shits and gigs. How about Torts' presser, though, at the end? Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see anything with this game. I was so fucking rattled with the Derby, so I kind of like turned off TV for the day.
In the fetal position in the corner of your room.
Jeez.
Yeah. John Tortorella was saying that everything happens. He goes, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. You know, this game just wasn't meant to be ours. We'll be back here for Game 7. And one of the reporters came back and was just like, so you think that you guys are going to be back here for Game 7? He goes, no, we will be back here for Game 7. We will absolutely be back here for Game 7. So then that same reporter kept on like saying, okay, so you think you're going to be back here? And Torch was like, no, we will be back here for Game 7. He ended up just getting up and leaving.
I know he doesn't have a lot of fans. I know he doesn't have a lot of fans, but
he hasn't done that in a while.
Fucking,
so I'm happy
I fucking love Torts.
Still got that in him.
Still got it.
Yeah. Still got it.
Fun.
Yeah.
That should be fun to watch, though. Game 6 will be insane.
Which
pretty intense stuff, I think.
Tomorrow.
I saw a video of Nationwide Arena last night, Saturday night, while the game was going on in Boston. They sold it out. They had the game on the Jumbotron.
Oh, yeah.
And they sold out the arena. And people were going nuts inside.
I'm sure, especially when they tied it 3-3. It was probably just banana lands.
Mm-hmm. What were you saying, Jerome?
I
thought you were saying something.
No.
I cut you off.
Yeah, figure it out.
Fucking figure it out.
Figure it out. I would love to go to a game there, a playoff game out at Nationwide Arena. That place looks like it's jumping.
I don't know about next year. Next year, they're not going to have much of a team.
Yeah, I would say this is going to probably be like the fastest like build up and then build down in a matter of a season with this Blue Jacket team.
Well, that's why this is it.
Yeah,
this is the year. They got to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did see some stupid fans talking about Panarin and Bob. They're like, "Oh, they're going to stay. Look how much fun they're having. They're going to stay. Absolutely, they're going to stay. They're going to sign." I was like, "So you're telling me that both of them are going to sign? You're going to keep Duchesne, and you're still going to have money left over?"
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Money coming from?
Yeah, you guys are high as a kite. They're both gone.
Unless they can move Columbus to a beach, I don't think Panarin's staying.
Yeah. Unless they legally change the name to the Florida Panthers, I don't think it's happening.
Florida Panthers of Columbus.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's their cap even look like? They got like
not
3
great.
Space.
It's not great.
No.
And then the cap's only going up till about 83, I believe. Was the last projection.
Panarin and Duchesne both make only $6 million. I think.
Yeah. Panarin's going to go double digits.
Oh yeah.
I think Panarin's going to get double digits. I think Duchesne will probably get around 8-9.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds right.
So tough for Columbus. Have fun now while you can.
I just realized that they're paying Alexander Wenberg $4.9 million.
Yikes.
Oh God.
For
same guy's been a healthy scratch for half the series.
Yeah.
For
the next 4 years after this year.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's a tough contract. Yeah. Speaking of being in a tough salary cap situation, San Jose Sharks. They are going to be in some deep trouble, but they're rolling right now.
Yeah.
They are rolling right now. They are up 3-2 going into Colorado. That was a really good hockey game last night. I'm not sure if you guys were able to catch any of that.
Unable to.
San Jose, in the first period, was so dominant. The puck did not leave the Colorado zone the entire period. It was a complete 180 from whatever the hell they were smoking in Game 4. And they dominated the first period. Couldn't score. Well, actually, they did, and it got called back on a ridiculous call. It was, I believe, Timo Meier was going to the net, and one of the Colorado defensemen, I can't remember who it was, lifted his stick into the face of Mikko Rantanen. And I, honest to God, on the last look that they gave us, it looked like it didn't even hit Rantanen. He just went down like a sack of potatoes. And they scored on that rush. Like literally a second later, they scored. And they called it a goal. And then they all started to meet up around the referee by the penalty boxes. And they were talking about it. They went on the headsets and they called up to Toronto. Apparently what they were doing is they were telling Toronto that there was a penalty being called and that they had to bring the goal back. So they were just kind of bringing Toronto up to speed. But nobody's arm was up in the air. Nobody's arm was up in the air calling a penalty or anything like that. They just called it back. So Colorado gets a power play. The goal gets taken away from San Jose. And to top it all off, Mikko Rantanen, the guy who got his nose lopped off, apparently was out there for the power play to start. I would have been furious as a San Jose fan if they would have scored on that power play, which they almost did a couple times.
So kind of like as angry as a Vegas fan, maybe.
No. My team is still in the playoffs at that point.
Officiating has been so bad this playoff. Like
the officiating's been weird. It's almost like they're afraid to make a mistake now.
Yeah,
and they're like overdoing it.
Yeah,
I think
like being overly cautious because they don't want to miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like you're trying to catch everything. You're catching things that don't really matter.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, talking about Marty Jones real quick. Do you guys realize that since he got pulled in Game 4 against Vegas, he's thrown up a 194 goals against and a 936 save percentage?
Jesus.
That's pretty good. That's not too bad.
Before that, he was at like an 830 something save percentage in 4 games. Jesus. What a turnaround.
Let's talk about a wake-up call.
What a ridiculous turnaround.
Yeah. That's like playing like the goalie you need.
Mm-hmm. And great timing, too, because, he was shit in the regular season as well.
Hey, did just enough to get him there.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. The only goaltenders who are better than him right now are Tuukka Rask with a 938 save percentage and Curtis freaking McElhinney with a 947.
Hey,
and again,
Ben Bishop.
To be fair, McElhinney's only been 2.25 games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Just crazy how well he's been playing lately. And on the other end, Grubauer has been incredible as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's been outstanding.
Yeah, he posted a shutout in, Game 4?
Yep. Posted a shutout in Game 4. And he was unreal in Game 5 as well, kept a minute. So, really nice goalie battle going on in that series, which nobody thought was going to end up happening. A goalie battle.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Going back to all the players that you have in that series, too. Like,
I know.
Erik Karlsson, like Logan Couture is like on a tear ever since that Game 7. Like
Logan Couture, 13 points in the playoffs, leading the league with 9 goals.
9 goals.
Karlsson,
probably the best.
Karlsson has 11 assists.
He also probably has one of the best cellies too, with the little hand twirl and a bow. That was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is this San Jose Shark team looking more like the team that we thought they were going to be in the beginning of the season when they got Karlsson? Or are they still kind of disappointing?
They're looking even better than the San Jose Shark team that went to the final 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, the Sharks
Thomas
in position as like the Blue Jackets. Like, this is like the time to get it done.
Yeah, this is it.
This is the best chance you're going to get. And then they have they're playing for Pavelski too, and that's driving them.
And in a way, in a way, they're playing for Thornton too to get him his cup. So it's like they got that double duty there to just try to motivate them to keep going.
It was really cool last night. They had Pavelski down by the tunnel, and they put him up on the jumbotron. He was swinging his towel around, and the fans were going nuts. The boys on the bench were going crazy. So.
That's gotta feel good.
It seems like he's doing pretty well. I don't know if he's coming back anytime soon, but not only is Logan Couture bringing it to the Sharks, Thomas Hertl is as well.
Oh,
8 goals. He's second in the league.
It's not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this series? I know you haven't seen a lot of it at all, but did you guys think that it was going to be this much of a back and forth battle?
No.
I kind of expected Colorado to not just go down easily. Every time I see Colorado scores a goal, I'm looking at the stats and I go, it's probably Nate McKinnon. I pop it up and it's like Nate McKinnon. Exactly.
Nate McKinnon. Yep.
That's exactly what I thought. It's either him scoring or getting an assist, and it's just obviously. I've been saying the whole playoffs, I'm he's not going to let this team die. He will kill himself to keep going. Like it's crazy.
McKinnon's goal in, I think it was game 3, when he took the puck at center ice and then just skated all around the neutral zone, went up on that near side wing and just cruised in and ripped a shot blocker side on Marty Jones, was electrifying. Like, just watching him pick up the puck, I was like, oh my god, it's happening. Things are happening. Oh my god, things are happening.
He's insane. Yeah.
He's so good. So good. Would you guys say that he's almost, I wouldn't say underrated, maybe undervalued in the NHL?
I mean, you guess? I don't know. I don't know.
Because I feel like people don't talk about him as much as they probably should be.
I feel like he gets a lot of recognition. I mean, he's put up like 97 points and 99 points the last 2 years. Like, people know about him.
Yeah. Well, people know about him, but like, I feel like he should be getting the kind of treatment, or I don't know, as like somebody, I don't know. I just feel like he's not getting as much as he probably should be. Like, I just feel like he should be up there with like the Marchands and like the Canes of the world. And like, no,
the Marchands.
Fuck Marchand.
I mean, in terms of like value to the league.
Well, yeah, no, I've seen like things online where it's like, where do you put Nate McKinnon in like the top players? It's like, does he slide into the top 5? And a lot of people are like, hell yeah, in the top 5.
I mean, I don't think he was just nominated for the Hart last year.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, I think
that's true. I forgot he was nominated for the Hart.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely talked about, I mean, I forgot who was saying it, but there was like an analysis that was like, oh, he's one of the top 3 players in the NHL. Like, he's always being plugged in up there with the McDavids and all that. So it's like, I think he's right where he needs to be, kind of thing. Like, when it comes to recognition, especially if we're playing in Colorado.
Yeah. He's perfectly underrated.
Yeah.
Perfectly underrated.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Moving on to Dallas and St. Louis. This one is probably the nastiest of all 4. There is some bad blood going on within this series.
That's because everyone hates St. Louis.
Yeah. I think it's pretty great. I will say, as much as I am rooting for the Dallas Stars, if I see someone else flop like an asshole,
I'm
going to lose my mind.
Fucking
yeah.
Bishop too with that. You guys are goalies. Explain that to me.
There's no padding there.
There's no padding there, so it hurt.
Yeah,
I can guarantee that it hurt. But
have you ever taken
that kind of a reaction,
a chop to like the wrist or anything like that? Like, just like a slight little hit that like hits nothing but your like body. Like,
yeah.
Especially when you're not expecting it. If it hits him right on the spine, it's just like, fuck. Like, yeah, it would buckle you.
Yeah, but he got fucking shot.
Well, yeah, if it hits you right on the spine, what do you expect to like react? You just like turn around and be like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, playoff hockey, man.
Okay, well, I'm going to take your stick next time I see you and chop you right in the spine and see how you react.
See how you like it.
My stick or a goalie stick?
No, your stick. Well, like you know how much force somebody can do from like just like a few inches away, just like a quick little hit, and like shit, like especially if you're not expecting that, like I would probably just be like,
I still think it was a little bit too much of a flop. That was like Mike Smith-esque.
Yeah, it looked bad. I'm sure that was just kind of his natural body reaction, though. You know, I will say it was good for him to get back up and go into the crease and not just kind of lay there like an idiot.
Oh,
he just kind of shook it off after he got back to his feet.
I think that would have been a completely different conversation right now if he would have stayed down.
Yeah, I mean, if he were to stay down, then I'd be like, all right, like it hurt, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? It's not Klingberg. It was
Oh shit. I never know how to say
God
his
damn it.
name.
Can't remember.
Dude.
Yeah, whoever the other guy was. he was an absolute joke.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah, what the hell was
Heiskanen.
that like?
Heiskanen?
It was Heiskanen, wasn't it?
Was it?
Mira
No,
Heiskanen?
that was not. Let's see.
I put it on our
was it?
Instagram.
Or was it Lindell?
It was probably Essa Lindell. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I think it might have been Lindell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I think it was Lindell. Anyway, whoever it was, we do our research on the show, I swear. The first one, all right, like maybe you're trying to get a penalty. The second one is too much. The third one, what are you doing?
Just falling.
What are you doing?
Ice is slippery, man. I don't know what to tell you.
That looked awful. I mean, that was embarrassing. Really, it was tough to watch that go down. I hope that he was getting shit from his teammates.
Yeah.
No,
Like, what are you doing, bud? Stay on your feet.
I saw like everybody's like, well, maybe he shouldn't be cross-checking that guy so many times. It's position hockey right there. Like, come on. Like,
yeah. You see people battle for position all the time. Like, no one flops that hard, though.
No, that was terrible. I think we are starting to see our first shades of frustrated or some sort of emotion from Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
Because he went out after Jamie Benn in Game 4 and started swinging away.
Well, yeah, he also like slashed somebody. Like I think it was like Ben Bishop.
Yeah, he at the
and then got a penalty.
Yeah,
like at the end of the second period, it was Game 5 or Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
He just skates right out to Bishop and just splashes him on the back of the leg. That one I could understand Bishop going down for.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine Ben or like not Ben, Jamie Benn just fucking going at Jordan Binnington? God. Oh my god, he would smoke him.
I guess Jordan Binnington's been in a couple fights down in the A.
Yeah, I saw what was it? I saw something about that. Like he was like starting fights and stuff.
There was a game against, I think he was on San Antonio or whoever. It was like either 4 against San Antonio. He gets lit up for like the 7th goal of the game, and he just goes after the fucking guy. He like two-hands him, and then the entire team comes after him, and he's just like, fucking let's go. Like,
yeah. I saw a link to that Hockey Fights website. And there were a couple of fights on there. He actually held himself pretty well. I mean, it looks like out of his equipment, he's just kind of skin and bones. But he actually held himself pretty well in that fight. So I guess it's kind of his personality, almost like Belfour-esque. But Belfour was kind of chunky anyway. But yeah, Dallas going up 3-2, going back home to potentially go to the conference final. Who would have thought the Dallas Stars would have a chance to go to the conference final this year?
Okay, don't even say that, because who would have thought Carolina had a chance? Who would have thought
that's true? Yeah,
versus Tampa.
Who would have thought that all 4 wildcard teams were within 1 to 2 games of going to the conference finals?
So I absolutely do believe that this makes sense.
But it's just kind of crazy to think about where they were just a couple months ago. I mean, their owner came out and was talking so much mad shit about his top 2 guys.
No, it wasn't the owner. It was the CEO.
That was the CEO. You're right.
It was the business side of everything too. So God has no idea what the fuck he's talking
that's
about.
What you just need. Talk shit about your players.
He's just solely like, yep, this is all me. I did this.
Like, this is all me. Yeah.
He's like the guy that like honks during traffic, and then once it starts moving, he's like, yeah, I did that. I told everybody to go.
I think the big turnaround for this team though was Matt Zuccarello being added.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about it a couple of times.
Even though he got hurt right away.
Yeah. He adds so much depth to this team.
He's such a good player.
He gives them the opportunity to play around with those lines for so much. They were talking about how at first it was that for the first couple of games they had that line of Sagan, Ben, and Radulov, while Zuccarello was on a line with Spezza and I can't remember who else was on the other side. But for Game 4, they flipped it around to where Sagan and Zuccarello were together while Ben and Radulov were together. So, I mean, that literally spreads out that so well. Having Sagan and Zuccarello as your number 2 line is almost having like a second first line.
Oh, yeah. Like, their top 2
so,
lines are so
there's
good.
so much more depth that you could do with it. It makes it so much harder to match a line.
And their defense is pretty good with Heiskanen and Klingberg. And
John Klingberg is such a smooth skater.
Well, oh, God. And then Ben Bishop is just having a sick playoff. And, like,
he is.
That team is putting it together at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys
tonight's game 6, so
yeah, 2
could be over. We could see 2 wild cards
over.
Going into the conference final. Honestly, all the wild card teams can make the conference final.
NHL would be shitting themselves, but I think it'd be fucking great.
Honestly, though, at this point, that's where it has to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
That's what it has to be. I mean, that's been the narrative this entire freaking time. So might as well just have it be all 4 of them in the conference final. Bite the bullet. So, but yeah. I mean, any other thoughts on the playoffs so far? I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words.
It's been fun.
Like,
it's
still,
so
like this
good.
entire time, I'm still like at a loss for words.
I just think it's just showing why hockey is just so above and beyond like a better league than some of these other leagues, because it's like it's not the usual same 2 teams doing it and everybody's got a chance. It's just like this playoffs is just so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, even in the favorites by like everybody gets smoked in round 1. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's definitely good. I think I said this a couple episodes ago though. This is definitely a playoff for like the true hockey fan. Mm-hmm. If you're like the casual fan that just tuned in for the playoffs, I don't think you're appreciating this or enjoying this as much, because it's like you're watching these, you're like, who the hell are these teams? Or like, you know, they don't have the big names in it. So, but regardless,
I forgot who I was talking to. I think I might have been talking to somebody at work, but they were saying like, oh, you know, the first round was great and everything like that, but now it's, you know, now the second round's just not as exciting anymore. What? Not as exciting? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But all right, should we send it over to the interview now?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Get out of here. All right, we're going to send it over to our interview with Brian Moore with the Chicago Blackhawks Warriors. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are here joined by Sergeant Brian Moore of the Marine Corps, and also with the Chicago Blackhawks Warriors, joining us on the pod today. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our pleasure. I am super excited to talk with you today. First and foremost, obviously, thank you for everything that you have done for your service country and everything. Couldn't be more grateful for everything that you guys have done.
That's kind words, man. You don't need to say them, but it's appreciated. Thanks.
Of course. Thank you. Of course. So one thing that I kind of a weird first question, I guess, but I guess first thing that I always think of whenever I speak with somebody who's either like Marines or Army or something like that from Chicago is, what is the national anthem like for you guys at the United Center? Does it kind of carry a totally different meaning, especially with how the fans react? Or
I don't know, I remember as a kid, my aunt taking me to Hawks games at the stadium, and when Wayne Mesmer was singing back then, and that place would go, it would be so loud your ears would just, they couldn't pick it all up. They would just ring. They would just hum. It was the most amazing thing. I mean, I was a kid. It didn't mean nearly as much to me as it does now, being a former military member. So now, going to the United Center, a much bigger area, and there's still just gives you absolute chills the way they get the flag waving at the end, everybody cheering. And what almost makes it even better is how much, especially you hear about in the playoffs, that other cities like to dog us for disrespecting the anthem because they're standing and screaming. No, man, I think it's absolutely amazing. I get chills every time. I stand as still as I can and try not to tear up and watch my kids just take it all in as well. It's great.
I love it. I love it.
Gotta love those anthems, man. Gotta love them.
So tell us a little bit more about your military, your background. Tell us kind of how everything got started for you.
Oh, well, so started off, graduated high school, decided like most everybody, if you got the ability, you go to college. My folks worked hard, saved up some money to send me to college. I was a spoiled little kid, didn't know what I was doing. So I blew through some money at college and didn't know at all what I was going to do. When I stopped making grades, my parents stopped paying the bills. So I was living at home and not sure what I was going to do, but at least knew that I had screwed up and wanted to kind of atone for that. So on my own, I just kind of saw what I could do to kind of, I don't want to say like make my family proud, but at least kind of pay back the way I ran through their hard-earned money. My folks are blue-collar family, so they didn't need to do that for me, but they did, and I didn't know how much they had sacrificed. So anyway, I go in and I don't know the difference between any of the branches. I think the movies that made me believe that if you're going to be tough, you join the Marines. And so I talked to a couple of my family friends that had gone through different services, and they said, don't join the Marines. Go join the Air Force and drink coffee, be in air-conditioned buildings. If you want to march around all the time and get yelled at, join the Marines. I was like, well, after my experience in college, maybe I need some of that. So it found me in the recruiter's office for the Marine Corps, and I was almost 21 at the time. So even going into boot camp, I was three years older than most kids going into boot camp. I was the old man at a right 20 years and 10 months or something like that. So that's initially how I got out of the Marine Corps. But I went in through some good advice, family, friends. I went in as a contract for air traffic control, in anticipating doing that when I got out, which is what I do now. So it was a great education to help me get a job in the FAA as an air traffic controller. But at the same time, it really kind of straightened me out, put my head on straight, and gave me healthy respect for just for what others had already done for me.
Of course.
Not to mention probably like a little sick workout routine you got going on.
Yeah. It's fortunately able to dial it back a little bit from when I was in 15 years ago. But when you got in there, it was 3 months of just working out and just keeping your nose clean, not taking things personally.
Right.
So yeah, you play for the Chicago Warriors. How long have you been playing hockey in general?
In general, this goes back again to my folks. My dad, I wanted to do everything my dad did. He was a big baseball guy. So we played baseball nonstop. That was my only job, was to be waiting at home with the bucket of balls, a bat, our gloves. He'd pull in the driveway, off we went. We played baseball until I came home. We'd come home at night after it was so dark that we basically played until I got hit in the face with the ball because we couldn't see it. But then I found out that my dad played hockey, and he had, I don't know if I want to say he kept it from me, but this was news to me. I said, what do you mean you played hockey? This is amazing. I'd found a hockey stick at the end of this dead end where we lived. People, you would dump their trash there. And I found this beat up hockey stick there one day, and I brought it home, and that's, I think, what started the conversation. And my dad basically grew up in Hammond, Indiana, where they would flood the parks during the winter, and they'd strap phone books to their shins and go out there and play hockey. And to me, that was the NHL. I mean, that's hockey. That's what you did to play. So once I found out my dad played, I wouldn't leave him alone. I want to play hockey. I was kind of late getting into the game. I was in, I want to say, 5th grade before I actually started playing hockey. And I was horrible. I mean, just so far behind the curve. Even that would have been in like 89 or something like that. I remember like my 3rd season, I finally made some travel team, and when I came home from the tryouts, my mom had taken me, and it was one of those classic things where I think my first step on the ice for one of the tryouts, I still had my skate guards on, and felt completely embarrassed and whatnot. But when I came home and told my dad I had made like the second alternate or something, he was just looking at my mom like, how bad is this team? consequently, I played for high school in South Bend, Penn High School. They weren't any better. We were just a bunch of basically rural kids. That from some way or another, we found our way to an ice rink, and they had a club team in high school that we played. But there was maybe 2 or 3 guys that were decent, and the rest of us were just trying to hit people hard and bring as many girls out to the games as we could. So after that, the Marine Corps. I think I played on a couple of base teams in the Marine Corps. But my short stint in college, to back up a little bit, I played club hockey at Ball State in Muncie, Indiana, and then after I got out of the Marines, I think it was just like I don't know if I'm going to be playing much anymore, and I bounced kind of all over the country looking for work, and then I finally got picked up by the FAA. I was up in Seattle, and they had a team at the facility I worked at in Seattle, so I had my folks ship my gear out, and I'm playing in these old like Bauer 2000 skates that weighed 20 pounds or something, and these old probably Coho 4-roll gloves or something, and what were those famous, the 50-30, the Sherwood 50-30 curve wood sticks? The old
yeah, the coffee.
Yeah, so I was playing up there, and that's when I really almost started like a new love of the game. Is all these adults that some of them pick it up late in life. They just are drawn to it, and there's other guys that have played their whole life, and from then on, it's just been beer league hockey, and that's been for probably 15 years now, and that's really been the most enjoyable hockey I think I've ever been involved in.
So when did you get with the Chicago Blackhawks Warriors? When did that happen?
Warriors was just this last season was my first full season with them. I was playing hockey at Leafs Ice Center here in Dundee, northwest suburbs, and after one of our beer league games, just drinking in the bar afterwards, one of the guys in our league was there, and we were chatting, and he mentioned that one of the guys on his team plays for the Warriors, so we got to talking. Gave me the contact information. All I did was get on their website, which is, I think it's like ChicagoBlackhawksWarriors.com. And they're right on the website is a link to like basically fill out an application, if you will, for the team, where all you're doing is you're telling them who you are, maybe a little bit of your history and your military affiliation. And then the head coach, Rick Jackman, got a hold of me right away, invited me out to one of their practices, and they practice. Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
They practice out of a facility in Mount Prospect. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Practices. This is great. I show up, they got a coach, they got 2 assistant coaches, then they've got one time Kevin Deneen was out there running the practice. This is about the coolest thing I can imagine. They got all these in the front office, just like guys trying to sign some Russians for the team for some reason. Who knows? That's probably coming up the way this last Warriors tournament went. I'm sure we'll talk about in Tampa. But yeah, it's a great organization. Anyway, that's how I got a hold of it. They just invited me to come out and skate with them, and obviously I'm not gonna say obviously I was a good fit because you guys don't know who I am at all, but it's very welcoming. It's a very welcoming group. Everybody out there is any level. They're not going to turn you away because you're a true bender, and they're not going to turn you away because you play for DeKalb. I think we had a couple of guys that are playing in college, not Division I college hockey, but they're playing against other, young 20-year-olds, and then there's also 40, 45-year-old guys. Some of them, we have one guy that's, he's an amputee. He's missing part of his leg. Another guy has been through, dozens of reconstructive surgeries after suffering wounds from an IED. The injuries run the gamut from myself, it's just back and knees. And then you got other guys that are, like I said, they're missing limbs, and nobody cares. You come out here and you love hockey. Yeah, right. We play. So anyway, I got this last season's been my first full season with them, and I just can't say enough about what they do. Just as far as just getting other service members together, so you're with people that have a kind of a common thread just from that. And then on top of that, I don't need to explain to you guys or any of your podcast subscribers how awesome hockey is in that same realm.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. You get you basically have that brotherhood of military, and then there's always that brotherhood of hockey, and then that's kind of combined into a super brotherhood that you guys probably have there.
Yeah, it's a whole new level, really. It's crazy. It really is. So every bit as close as you are with with your team and drinking beers in the locker room after the game and giving each other crap about, whatever D got split that night or glove save wasn't made. We're doing the same, just branch to branch too, just giving each other a hard time about our service history and not to mention what happens on the ice. So yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a great time.
And so I was looking at the roster on your guys' website. I mean, you guys got a decent amount of guys that you guys have a part of this. Do you guys break it up in different levels for teams, or
healthy scratches and everything? They got practice.
Yeah.
Legitimate. That's a legitimate concern. We don't say no. So if you want to play, you go put paperwork in and you come out to the practices. We have certain requirements. You got to make X amount of practices, X amount of fundraising goals, things like that to play in the top tier games. We'll have Blackhawk alumni games this year during the Winter Classic. We got to actually go skate with the current team out at Notre Dame the day before the Classic. So as long as you're contributing to the team, you get to do those things. But we've got 40 some guys and 4 or 5 goalies rostered. But any given Saturday when we have our practices, there could be 20, 22 guys show up. We understand that there's life, and this isn't 100% it.
Right.
Some of us it is. We understand that's a personal decision. Everybody's got different things going on in their life. So you make what you can, and we try and fit you in accordingly. But ultimately, we like to have what we call a red and a white team. So we'll have a slightly different skill set at the red level than the white level. But by no means is it trying to keep people from playing.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So are you guys strictly just kind of playing tournaments every now and again, or do you guys also get together and play in a league? Do a couple of guys play in a league together?
Me being out in this, there's the guys that live up in Wisconsin that make the drive all the way down.
Wow.
Me being out in the northwest suburbs, it's difficult for me to get into town all the time because I'd say most of our guys are more in the Chicago proper area, and so they do. A handful of them will play on different beer league teams together. But as far as the Blackhawks Warriors team itself, our main season, which is what everybody's main season would be, your fall winter season. We play in a handful of tournaments, but we also try and schedule games against different fire departments, police departments, FBI team. We play against and then we'll do any team that wants to kind of turn our game into a fundraiser. Myself and a few other players, our beer league team will host the Blackhawks Warriors, where we'll collect donations from other family, friends, and teammates and things like that. And we'll ask our home rink to donate the ice time so that all of our proceeds can go direct to the Blackhawks Warriors. Right. So we do a lot of just standalone games as well.
Wow. Holy cow. So how can people who are listening to this interview right now, this podcast right now, how can they chip in? How can they help?
I'd say just first things first, just get on the website. Go to ChicagoBlackhawksWarriors.com, and we're not gonna impress you with our state of the art website. But we are going to give you all the information you need to find out a little bit more about us. But mainly, it's just we run solely on funds from donations from area businesses and individuals as well. So they're the 501(c)(3) nonprofit, so it's all tax deductible and whatnot. But we're not trying to just look for handouts. We want people to come out and just see what we do. We at all of our games, at most of our games, we'll advertise definitely on our website. When we have bigger fundraising games, we'll have signed memorabilia from Blackhawks current players and alumni. We'll have donations from area businesses that we'll do kind of like a blind raffle for. We'll sell specialty beers at our games or whatnot. Just all sorts of things that you're going to buy beer anyway. So why don't you buy it? Why don't you buy a cool craft beer from us? So that way you know the money. Because somebody has donated that beer to us. So just buy that beer for $5 from us. Enjoy it, and that money goes right back to the organization. So we can. It goes to our ice time at Mount Prospect. It goes to our uniforms. We wear when we go out to other fundraising events that are off ice. We'll wear our polo shirts and whatnot, and it all goes to things like that. And we also have staff, Rich Jeckman, his wife Kathy, Dan Wigg. These great guys that donate a lot of their time, and they travel, and they're trying to, when they're traveling, they're talking about our team. They're trying to raise funds as well. So it covers travel expenses as well. But mainly keep in mind that it's for a team of veterans that gives veterans a way to transition back from military life to civilian life, and doing it in the I don't know how to explain it, I guess, but doing it in the realm of hockey, where they're with guys that went through the same types of things that they've gone through. So a lot of times in that locker room, we're not even talking about hockey. We might be giving somebody more time, but that might turn right around into actually just listening and remembering the kind of stuff that we went through together. And then off ice as well, that just the network of that brotherhood you have. I've seen people land jobs while they're tying their skates. It's just a really, really great network against. So to sum up, go to our website and look for what we're going to be playing next, and come out and meet us, because we're a bunch of great characters that would love to just give you a sense of where your donations would go to.
I know you guys had a table set up at the CPHL this past summer, and I work for the company that puts that on, so I was there every week, and it was probably one of the most popular tables that they had set up there. Everybody just loved your jerseys, like some of the coolest jerseys I've ever seen.
Oh, cool, man. Awesome. Thank you. But not to just reciprocate that, but I was looking at your jerseys a couple days ago. Man, I mean, they have the whip from New York, but they look fantastic.
Yeah.
We get a lot of compliments on those jerseys. They're, I like them, man. That's another thing. When you put that sweater on, we talk about it. We're representing the Indian head. It's a big deal to us. We don't take it lightly, and we're very. I don't know if proud is the right word, but we're definitely very protective of it.
Oh yeah,
we're very happy with it. Is it CPHO, Chicago Professional Hockey League?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was at the Nick Fleehard runs that, or doesn't run, but he helps out with that draft league tournament.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that, they had it in Chicago this year at MB, and I saw that advertisements for CPHL, and it looked incredible. At that time, I was just getting my toe in the pool of Warriors hockey, so I hadn't actually gotten over there for that. But I know we do a lot of that. We'll try and set up a table. We do whether it's at like a pipe fitters union hall or something like that, or hockey related. And definitely we like it to be hockey related. We definitely try and get a presence to get the word out. So I was been in this area for 6 years now and hadn't heard of Warriors and played hockey all over. So we definitely need to do a better job of getting out there.
Well, you were saying how you guys, when you're putting that jersey on, you're representing the Indian head, it makes you proud and everything. I feel like that's also kind of reciprocated from the Blackhawks a little bit too. I mean, you briefly touched on it before. You guys got to skate with them, a day before the Winter Classic. I mean, I feel like they're just excited to meet you guys as you guys are to meet them.
I was blown away. They made us feel like we were the reason they were out there. It rained that whole day prior to the Winter Classic. It was like 38 degrees or something and rain, and so we were supposed to be skating at the outdoor rink, but they held it at the Compton Family Ice Arena. So we get there early, and I think Boston College was in town to play Notre Dame, so we're watching the Notre Dame practice. We watched a little bit of Boston College practice. Then we go and get suited up, and when we get done suiting up, we go out and we're sitting along the glass, and the Hawks they said they're going to do about 40 minutes of their own skate, and then they're going to have us out there. And we're right up on the glass watching these guys just do amazing, amazing things, making us feel like we should never pick up a hockey stick, And then as soon as they were done running, whatever drills they wanted to run, Coach waves us on. We're all trying to hide our shaking hands as we go out there, and these guys, every last one of them, stopped what they were doing, skated over to the door that we were coming out at, shook our hands, kind of spread out, and then just chatted with us like we were beer league buddies. We did this for 20 minutes, just skated among the players and coaches and talked, and every one of them thanked us for our service. Every one of them asked us maybe a thing or two about how we got started in hockey, or it was always thanks for coming out to us. It was insane.
It's gonna be pretty nice when like the Hawks are pretty much gonna have an outdoor game almost every year. Go ahead and hit those outdoor rinks and get to skate out and like wherever it's gonna be the next time would be pretty fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm saying I would stay involved with this Warriors program just for the perks of, of things like that. But to really hit home with me was the Blackhawks organization. Never once did we feel like we were intruding on them or we were imposing on their practice. We were made to feel like that time was about us. We ended up dropping like 4 pucks and playing this giant rat hockey. I got a GoPro on my helmet because I was like, I'm not even remembering this stuff. Ended up, I think Duncan Keith tried to go around me in the corners. Like, I don't want to, obviously I'm not going to hit the guy, but I'm not going to let Duncan get around me, right? You got to like kind of run up into the boards. You can hear somebody calling my name and I turn around and it's Patrick Kane feeding me a pass. I mean, these guys they were fantastic. Not a person felt that they didn't get an opportunity to talk to whom they wanted to talk to. And they, like I said, they were made to feel like genuinely the Blackhawks wanted to be there with us.
Anybody on the Blackhawks really stand out to you, whether it was like in terms of conversation or like was somebody you really wanted to meet?
Gosh, man, I'm 41 years old and it embarrasses me to say that, like, I really wanted to meet Kane. The guy, the struggles he went through maturing were, man, this guy is so stinking good and he's so much fun to watch, but he's such a liability right now. The guy can't, I'm talking like, 2010 to 2013. It's just like the guy, he's got so much growing up to do, and I don't want to see him squander this potential. I don't want to see him traded away because he's a bad name in the news for the Hawks organization.
Really out there,
And then that story of him going, was it after 13 or 14? Or I'm not sure how true the story is, but he went over to Europe to play, but he took his mother with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After that, he comes back and it's business. That's all. It's just get to work. His turnaround, his transformation was just so great to see. And I didn't, I'm not going to go and tell him that, like he needs to hear that from me, but I really just wanted to see the guy and talk to him, to hear what he has to say for himself. But what an incredible turnaround. So I was thrilled to meet him. But I'll tell you what, Delia was amazing. He was like a kid in a candy shop. He seemed just as excited as we were, like out of place and among stars. It's kind of how he felt. He just was all smiles and was cracking jokes. And I think at one point he even said, "Yeah, I'm just as excited as you guys are to be able to be."
That's hilarious.
It's been so great for him when he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there for it. Oh hell yeah, let's do it."
Well, taking a look right now at the room that you're in, you got a whole mess of Blackhawk pictures hanging up on the wall. So I mean, clearly you're a huge Blackhawk fan. Is there any specific player over the years that is your favorite player?
I mean, I grew up with Chelios and Roenick, and shed tears with the '92 team that just got destroyed by Pittsburgh, and then went through the few guys that were good through the '90s. I saw you guys had a podcast about the Daze the other day, and that was great. But it's got to be Hossa. I'm from a blue collar family, man. I'm from a blue collar family that we just work hard, and that's what I just saw marrying the whole. At least that was my take on him. I was like, that guy just never stops. The guy, in my opinion, you look at him and it's like, hang him up, man. Hang him up. All the numbers say you should be in this league, and I felt like he just contributed almost all the way to the end. So yeah, Hossa's my guy. Why, is somebody there like a big Hossa hater? Or?
No,
absolutely not. It's just so sad that he just had to quit.
Yeah. We all love him so much. At least once or twice a podcast, we either mention either Hossa, Hjalmarsson, or both, and we just It's
Just like sadness right away.
totally brings the podcast down after that.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, sir.
It's because of the good times. It's because of the good times.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, honestly, I thank you so much for coming on.
Well, hold on, Pulse. We gotta talk about the little video going around Beer League Talk, and let's see. So first off, let's fill everybody in what happened. It was just a video that I don't know if Nick posted it or who posted it for Beer League Talk, but it's a video of what looked just like a beer league game. Guy getting stick near the face, just goes down. Seemed kind of easy. Nick comes around and texts me and says, "Oh crap, I know who that was," and it was a little bit more than the video showed. So so what happened with that?
Oh well, that was our first game in the B division in that Tampa end of the season Disabled Warriors tournament, and that whole day was nuts. Our plane, we had to deboard up. We had 3 planes. Something was wrong with the first 2 planes. Finally, our 3rd plane, in like 6 hours, 7 hours later, we're off the ground at O'Hare. So they pushed our game back in Tampa so we could still have our first game that night. You can imagine how we were handling our time at the airport. So we were really in not a great condition to be given our finest in this game. But anyway, so we show up to this game, and I was against the DC team, which is they're called the Beltway Warriors. And again, this being my first year with the Blackhawks Warriors, I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking, we're all fellow combat veterans, or not even combat, we're all fellow veterans, and this is just going to be a good. I thought clean. I'm naive. I thought it was going to be a good, clean, hard hockey tournament, and that game. And I'm not saying that we were angels either, but that game was pretty filthy from the beginning. And so anyway, that particular play, you can see it, show the video. I'm fending the guy off with one hand, and by the time I dropped that hand to make the move to the inside, and after fending off a couple slashes on my arm, the next one came up, and the camera is I'm directly between the camera and the stick. So yeah, it got up and opened me up, and I ended up having to they wouldn't let me play again until I went and got looked at. So I went and got looked at. They had to they put 6 stitches to close it up, and sore teeth, things like that. It really it wasn't nasty or anything. It wasn't like I'm down and holding my face or anything. But you look at that video, and it's bad. I mean, it looks like it looks like it died. I showed it to the guys at work. They're like, "Yeah, you flopped hard."
Looks like you're trying to do a little pirouette or something.
Yeah, I understand that it looks that way. But so I wake up. It was one morning, Saturday, a couple weeks ago, and I had worked a long shift. I took a nap, woke up, my phone's just lit up. But I'm watching the link. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's when I got hit in the mouth, and I see Paulson grab some guy, and then Bash grabs another guy, and I didn't even read the tag at the bottom about auditions for the U.S. diving team 2020. So I'm watching it with one eye, so sleepy. I was like, yeah, screw those guys. Finally read the caption on the bottom. You got to be kidding me. I see it's Beer League Talk, and so I get on Facebook and I just throw out a little comment on there. Thanks for all the kind words, everybody. Apparently my dive was convincing enough, but if it wasn't, I did get 6 stitches and some loose teeth or whatever. See all you real tough guys in Mini, because I think there's a draft league tournament coming up in Minneapolis later this year I'm going to be at. And sure enough, Nick, like maybe 10 minutes later, Nick texts me and he's like, dude, I had no idea that was you. What a small world. Because our editor-in-chief played, and this is what he said, he plays on the Beltway team. And so he was at that game. And initially I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then the more I thought of it, I was like, what a jerk. He was there. So that's just kind of the story of that. We ended up, we did all right in the rest of the tournament. We played Beltway again for the championship, and it was a much better game. It was very physical, it was very good, but it was cleaner. I mean, it wasn't nasty. It wasn't bad at all. So I don't mean to say that, like, I don't think Beltway Snipe or the Beltway Warriors are a dirty team at all. That game was just, it got kind of out of hand, and but the last game was just a good hard game. So
still rocking the visor.
Yeah, I am. Well, I had just gotten, I think, 2 new visors. So until those get beat up, I think. It's not my first. I mean, I should have shaved to show you. Yeah, there's quite a few stitch jobs in that chin. So I'm married and 4 kids, man. I don't need to keep this pretty close.
So, there you go. Well, before we leave, I almost forgot about this one too. We always ask all of our guests what their favorite hockey memory is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that, it being and playing with the Blackhawks at the practice is probably up there. But is there anything else that kind of jogs your memory, like whether playing or watching or?
Yeah. No, I mean, I never got to play hockey with my dad. I mean, he's still alive. It's not like he's gone or anything. But
right.
He always supported me, and but the way baseball. Gosh, he just always practiced and always coached and we always played. But I never got to play hockey with my dad. And I've got one of my sons is just now getting into hockey, and as sad as this may sound or dopey as this may sound, I love taking them to hockey practice in the hopes that we're going to be doing drop-in or maybe even playing in a beer league someday in the future. So I'm hoping my fondest memory is yet to come.
It's good.
I love that. Like that.
That's a good answer. That was one of my favorite answers so far, I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I always remember on our travel teams, there would always be like a practice towards the end of the year that would be like, if the dads want to skate, it's like dads versus the kids, and it's like, let's go, dad.
right, yeah. Yeah, you couldn't wait. Yeah.
I will say those skates where it was the father versus son skates are the only times I ever actually got injured playing hockey when I was growing up, because those dads were so hard. So hard.
Well, you've got to, the dads aren't going to lose any respect. That would break the whole paradigm.
Take slap shots at me. I was like years old. Full on clap bombs, and I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys mentioned, was it Zach that was texting me, mentioned that you saw our team was rostered for the
oh yeah, for the
Heroes League or something?
Yeah, for the summer at Canlan.
Are you guys playing in that?
Yeah, we're going to be one of the 4 teams. I was looking at some of the other teams and figuring out how we exactly got in there, but but yeah, we're looking forward to playing you guys.
Awesome. Well, definitely, I've been telling these guys that I was going to be on this podcast with you guys to kind of talk about that incident, because a bunch of them jumped to my defense. I was glad to see that. So I'm definitely telling them, you guys, you got to just, I know you will, but definitely spark conversations with them. The vast majority of them they'll love to talk hockey with you.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah. There was the one guy that was very very much to your defense, and I'm like, take a name. Okay, don't mess with him on the ice during this tournament. So.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you so much for coming on today, Brian. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ended up actually being one of my favorite interviews I think we've done so far. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to play against you guys this summer.
Oh, hey, looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm not. Unfortunately, I played on 4 teams this last fall, and my wife was just like, "Yeah, you got to take some time off during the summer." And Friday nights was one of the nights I had to give up. But I'm gonna see when the guys are playing you guys. I'm definitely gonna try and get down there.
Awesome. Yeah, look forward to meeting you in person.
I had me dying on the way home. I was listening to the podcast. Who was it that didn't know a wagon had 4 wheels?
Oh God!
Oh my gosh, Tanner.
I was like, I don't know.
You want to explain yourself?
These guys know a lot about hockey, but then they don't know a wagon, so it's not too intimidating. I guess.
Yeah. Come on, Tanner. You want to explain that one at all?
No.
Got nothing.
No.
Maybe a beer or 2.
Tanner came on to the podcast right before that, and he goes, I just want to tell you guys, I did go to the Cubs game today in the afternoon, so I'm just trying to recover right now.
Yeah, you know what to expect. Yeah, a lot of guys show up to hockey games like that.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, thank you to Brian Moore for coming on and talk with us. He was one of my favorite interviews. I know I said it in the interview there, but that was super cool to be able to talk to him. So really appreciate him coming on and being able to talk with us for a while. So
and I'll toss a link up to their site on all the social media and stuff when we put this episode out.
Yeah,
so you guys go check out their stuff, and if you have the means or you see you're near where they're playing a game, go check it out. I mean, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. So, but yeah, that is about it for us. This was episode number 57, the TVR hashtag RIP. I guess out 4 to 6 months.
Surgery. What's up?
Surgery on the shoulder. But yeah, this was the TVR. So thanks for tuning in for Potes and Jerem and Tanner. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye.
Follow the boys on Twitter at WCBPodcast, on Instagram at WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast.